Okay, so as promised, here I am for the first official live hangout on this channel. I just finished a 45-minute live video on the main Eco Vegan Gal channel, if you want to check it out, but because I did not plan everything properly, my day has, or I should say I didn't stick to my plan. The day has just gotten a little tighter in terms of everything happening at certain moments and stuff, and I can't really talk because I feel all frazzled, but I'm currently eating the soup that I made live on the main Eco Vegan Gal channel, and it turned out very well. So if you want to learn how to make a delicious cashew carrot ginger soup, you might want to check out that video. It is 45 minutes long, but you guys are used to long videos anyways, and it was mainly just me sharing the entire process of making the soup from beginning to end. So that was an interesting experience there. I haven't planned anything to discuss today. I was hoping that a few of you would join and we can just kind of have a live chat, but really this is just to hold myself accountable to doing live videos here. And we have our first comment from Gen Z. Is that how you pronounce your name? Is that just a username? Oh, and Green Dragon's here, and Nenla's here. Wow, my heart's feeling so good. I don't know if you guys saw my little quick 1 minute long video announcing that I was going live on this channel, but let me see how many, oh, 15 views and some comments. Cool. I love that. So who left some comments? Gen Z left her comment, and who else did? One person asked me recently if I read comments, and I do, absolutely I read them. I just don't always respond to them for a number of reasons. One is sometimes I'm overwhelmed, and the idea of responding to comments just overwhelms me a lot. Or two, I don't know what to say, or I don't know. But I read them all, so that's the answer, and I try my very best to get back to them, especially the really important ones. So what do you guys want to talk about today? What are you curious about? Are there any themes or topics or anything you've been wondering? I just don't have a plan at all. I can just start telling you about my day and how good the soup is. This is kind of like, last night I was watching a mukbang or a mukbang, however you pronounce them, and I was wondering, should I do one of those? And I just wasn't sure how many people were interested in just watching me eat. Have any of you guys watched these videos? Like, people just like get a ton of food and then they just sit there in front of the camera and eat it. And I kind of like that idea, but then I'm like, is it gonna weird people out, like seeing you eat while you're talking? Like, I don't know, it's just kind of a weird concept, but I also kind of like it. So I would definitely do it, but I don't know if people want to see that. I did just get a bunch of questions come in. How was Disney? So Tony, you must have been following my Instagram stories. I went to downtown Disneyland last night to meet up with some of my family members. My aunt and two of my cousins are visiting. They are huge Disney enthusiasts, and they came to Disneyland for the first time. They've been to Disney World many times. They're from New Jersey, and it was just really cool. Like, I live about an hour, 30 miles away from Disney, which anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour to get there. And I haven't been actually on the Disney lot. It's not a lot, but like the park, anywhere actually inside the park for 10 years. I've only been to Disneyland once in all these years that I've lived in LA. And I go to Anaheim frequently, but haven't actually like been around Disney for a long time. So it was very cool to be there. Thanks for asking. We went to this Mexican restaurant, and they were super accommodating to veganism. Actually, Disney in general is very aware of dietary preferences, which is awesome. All over both parks, Disney World and Disneyland, you can find vegan options, which is just like so cool. And this place didn't have I don't even know if they had vegetarian options even marked on their menu, but I told the guy that I was vegetarian and didn't eat dairy, just in case he didn't know what vegan was. And he quickly recommended things, and I had a great meal. So it's called Tortilla Joe's. They do have some organic items on their menu, but I don't know like if their corn is non-GMO or anything like that. I had fajitas, so I had corn tortillas with some really delicious vegetables and some white rice and guacamole and salsa. I also had a mojito that was really good and some guacamole. They make table-side guacamole, so right in front of you, they bring out this cart and they make all the guacamole together, and it's fun. It was just a great experience. Literally across the street, across the like Disney street, there's another restaurant called the Jazz Kitchen, and they actually have vegan items on their menu. But my family chose to go to the Tortilla Joe's place, so that's where we went. A few people now have said that they don't like mukbang, so I don't know if I'll ever do it, but I'm kind of curious. Tony also asked, how's my sleep pattern? It's all over the place as usual, but I generally go to bed right now between 2 a.m. and 4:30 a.m. and wake up usually whenever I feel like it, unless I have specific things to do. Today, I had a long list of things I needed to accomplish, so I got up at 1:30 p.m., which was late. And I went to bed at like 4:30, so that's why I got up so late. But that was not nearly enough time for me to accomplish everything I needed to do so far today. So I will be working again late tonight. So a lot of people ask about my sleep patterns and how that is. I honestly don't mind at all that that's my lifestyle, because it's rare that I have any reason to be up early. So why go to sleep early? I love staying up late. It's just works really well for me. I do want to do some more research and maybe track my health a little bit more to see if my sleep patterns are affecting it. But for now, it hasn't really seemed to be a major issue. As long as I get in enough sleep, it doesn't really matter when I sleep, as far as I know. A few questions came in. Jazz Kitchen, yes, downtown Disney. And Jendy says, I'm happy to say I became vegan again. I owe a lot of that to you. Thank you so much. That's amazing. And you made vegan tuna. How did you make it? Did you make it with chickpeas? Vegan chickpea tuna is so delicious and satisfying, but tempeh tuna is also really good. Also jackfruit. Jackfruit I made a great chicken salad with. But I bet you could just call that tuna if you wanted to, with the right spices, or I don't know. We could always just imagine chicken salad and tuna salad. There's such a subtle difference. Yeah, now there's jackfruit at Trader Joe's. They sell these big cans of jackfruit in water, and it's $2. So jackfruit's a really fun thing to play around with. It's a great substitute for pork or for chicken. So Nina says, sounds kind of like my sleep schedule, but I've been trying to go to sleep earlier, as in 2 a.m. versus 4 a.m. I always aim for 2 a.m. and 2 a.m. feels early for me. But lately it's just been 4 a.m. I tried to go to bed. The other day I was really tired, and I tried to go to bed around 11 p.m. and I woke up an hour later and was wide awake till 4 a.m. So it's really hard for me to go to sleep early unless I'm incredibly exhausted or in a different part of the country, or have to get up super early or something like that. And I have done a little research on circadian rhythms, and I recently read a book that escapes me, but it was a book all about figuring out what your ideal schedule is each day in terms of time. Let me look this up. Let's see. It was on. Oh, I know where to find it. I think you guys have heard me talk about this program called Overdrive, and it's this free service where you can download any ebook or audiobook for free as long as you have a library card. I'm obsessed with it, and I've been reading like crazy, And one of the books is called, where is this? Oh, it's got the word time in it. Let's see. This system does not have the best, it's not the greatest for tracking what you have read or searching for things. I really want to find it though because it's so good for this topic. Let's see. I know it has a clock on it. I'm almost there. Just give me a moment. Somebody recommended it to me. I must have archived this a long time ago. I should just go get my iPad because it's still on there, but I don't feel like getting up right now. Ah, come on. I have read so many books, and I have saved so many books, and okay, I'm just gonna get my iPad. Okay. This book is called a book that takes a very long time to find. This is part of the fun of doing live videos, is that you never know what's going to happen. But I want to bring up, The Power of When is the title of this book. Discover your chronotype and the best time to eat lunch, ask for a raise, have sex, write a novel, take your meds, and more. I actually didn't love the book, but, did it save my notes? No, it didn't. Okay, that's annoying. But I thought it was interesting. It's basically like when you figure out what the best timeline is for your life, you can help you, be more, effective, or I'm having trouble describing this. Basically, like knowing your ideal schedule, because there's, so many elements of life that want to box us in and have us all like run off of the same schedule and keep us all in sync, which works well for some things. Productive is a word. Be more productive is a great way to describe it. Thank you, both of you. But I feel like if you know yourself, if you know your body, if you know your mind and your energy level, it really makes a huge difference. And for me, when I gave myself the freedom to go to bed and wake up whenever I wanted to and work whenever I wanted to, I feel so much better and happier. And the book actually goes into detail about like things like why sex is better in the morning, or actually the like research behind it, the biological reasons behind all of these different things, why our brains work certain ways for work, and for example, or like it just has all these examples of how we can optimize our lives based on specific timelines. And knowing they have these profiles like the wolf or the dolphin, or like you kind of figure out what type of animal you are. It's kind of weird, but then once you know what your archetype is, basically, then you can structure your life around that. So it was interesting. Not my favorite book that I've read lately, but interesting. Okay, some other questions came in here. So Jessica says, my husband says he doesn't need a clock to know it's 9:45 p.m. He can tell the time by my yawns. I know people like that too, and I sometimes wish I was like that, because I feel like I would like fit in more into society. It's really rare that I meet people that run the same hours, and hopefully one day I will get married or be in a marriage type relationship, and then I will have to figure out how that is all going to work, because I don't want to just meet somebody that has the same schedule that I do, because I don't know if that would be a good thing anyways. Like I wonder if I end up having children, I don't plan on like running my children off this crazy schedule. So that's probably going to be the time when I change, is if I become a parent. And that's something I think about every once in a while. All right, what else, you guys? What else should we talk about today? I'm just going to look over some of the comments. What animal are you? I don't remember, but let me go back to my notes. So because I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to these things, I always save my notes from books that I read. So I highlight, whether it's a physical book or whether it's an ebook, I'll use the highlighter and then I export my notes out. So let me see. I really don't remember what animal I am, so this might take me a moment. Let's see here. Nothing wants to work fast today. I'm learning about patience. I am reading a great book right now. I think it's called... I love how I don't know the titles of any of these books that I'm reading. It has the word surrender in it. Letting Go. Letting Go is the title of the book, and the subtitle is The Pathway of Surrender. That book is so good. And I just realized that the point I was going to make, though, is from another book I'm simultaneously reading called The Motivation Manifesto by Brendan Burchard. And he was talking about patience in that. So both books are great. I got to write a note to myself to put these in the description field if you want to check them out. Letting Go, Motivation Manifesto. Motivation Manifesto is talking about the importance of patience, which is something that I've always needed to work on myself. And Nina, if you want to read it, I will put it in the description of this once this is up. Now let me see, what is my chronotype? I think I'm a wolf. So I couldn't figure out. Yeah, they're all really interesting, but it says wolves are creative extroverts with a medium sleep drive. Owls who are the late risers. Yeah, it's really interesting. I don't know. I think I wasn't really fully able to determine what my chronotype was, to be honest. So maybe I'll come back to that book at some point. I think I decided that I must be a wolf, though. Okay, interesting. If any of you guys end up reading The Power of One, I'd be curious what your chronotypes are. All right. Any other things? I'm going back over the comments now to see if I missed anything. Any other requests for content? I don't think so. So I will just start telling you some random things, and then if you guys have other requests, let me know, because that's why we're doing live video. I'm also going to take a little sip of my soup because I'm going to a yoga class in just over an hour, and I try to eat before I go to yoga. I love Jen said that she likes random things. I find that random things can be interesting. I was watching this YouTube channel last night. I got really sucked into it. If any of you ever watched Trisha Paytas, she is this blonde bombshell. Thank you for the sweet words, Game King. I've never done giveaways. I have done giveaways. I've done a ton of giveaways in the past, mainly on my main Eco Vegan Gal channel. The video just got a little weird. I hope, guys, please let me know if the video ever freezes up. Yeah, it's acting strange right now. Anyways, I have done giveaways in the past. I just haven't done them on this channel. So Trisha Paytas is a very interesting character on YouTube, and she is just a very outrageous woman, and I just got sucked into watching some of her videos. And she is somebody that kind of shows me that you can just talk about whatever you feel like and make a ton of videos and people will watch. So if it weren't for women like her, even though the video is acting very strange. But hopefully you guys can see everything. Just let me know if it gets to the point where you can't see or hear me, because it's acting all choppy on my end. Anyways, yes, Trisha's not for everybody, but she has a huge fan base, and she's just this wild character who just shares all sorts of random things in her life and has made a living out of it. And she's fascinating. So every once in a while, it's kind of like reading gossip magazines or something like that. Like you kind of like feel a little guilty about it, but like you just can't look away like that. That's my experience with watching her videos. So anyways, That's my little note about random content, because it's amazing. I'm one of those people that wants to have like structure and, you know, have like a certain way of doing my videos and make them all entertaining and interesting and, you know, keep people captivated. But this channel obviously has been kind of my random just talk about anything channel, and it's actually very freeing. It's nice, and I've come to realize that you don't have to have everything perfect and everything in an orderly fashion and organized and edited and all of that. This channel has just given me a lot of permission to be myself and show myself and connect with people like you guys on a whole different level than I ever have before on the main Eco Vegan Gal channel. I did today though, because of live videos, my main channel, I've been doing a lot longer content, and today I did a video with no makeup on that main channel, which I rarely ever do. And it just was a good exercise for me to just own who I am and not be afraid of showing that. So I just saw a long comment come in. Game King. Oh, the connection got really bad. Sorry, you guys. Hopefully the connection isn't too bad for you. My Wi-Fi must be acting up, so let me know. As I said earlier, hopefully I don't have to stop this video. But Nina said, hold on one second, you guys. Had to do a little moderation here. Let's see. Okay, cool. Done. I think I had my very first spam comment here on this channel, which is really interesting. And I'm getting this warning sign right now that I have a very bad connection, so I apologize. It's never gotten this bad, but I think my Wi-Fi sometimes gets frustrated with me doing live videos. Can you guys see me and hear me okay? I'm gonna wait for a comment just to make sure. But I will keep going just in case this is working smoothly, because I don't want to interrupt for too long. See, the problem is when it says very bad connection, was tough before. Okay. The choice is either a little choppy at times. Looks good. Okay. Yeah, it's just the Wi-Fi. I could put you guys on. Oh, I think it's okay now. All right. Anyways, I want to wrap things up in the next few, like 6 minutes or so is my aim, because I do need to give myself some downtime before I go to yoga. So I'll tell you a little bit about that if you're curious. Until any other questions or requests come in, I'll just keep talking about what's been going on. So I've actually been very, very dedicated to my health lately, which is super exciting. I'm always pretty dedicated to my health, but lately I've been like extra aware of taking good care of my body. And I got into yoga, as I've probably talked about before, a new yoga studio, I should say. I've been doing yoga for about 5 years now, but I joined a new yoga studio in November, and it's a hot yoga studio, and it's my favorite yoga studio that I've ever been to. And I have 2 classes there that I do not miss. One I never miss. The second one, sometimes I get lazy and I don't go, but I'm fairly committed to them. And they're just unlike any other workout I've ever done. They're called Yoga Sculpt. So you actually use you use weights, and you do all these like intense movements to high-powered music, and the lights are off or really dim, and it's 100 or 105 degrees in there, so you're sweating like crazy, and I'm getting exhausted just talking about it, so I probably shouldn't continue to talk about it too much in fear that I will not have the energy to go. But the teachers are phenomenal, and so I've noticed that I need to kind of prepare myself mentally and physically for these classes by just drinking a ton of water, making sure I fuel myself with some good food. Oftentimes I'll bring a snack to have on the ride home, because it's about 30 minutes away from me. And so I just need to make sure that I'm like in a good state. And that's just been so great. So I go to yoga at the bare minimum once a week, but when I'm really on top of it and really committed to it, I'll go 4 or 5 or more times a week, just because I really want to build my strength up. I really want to sculpt my body, and it feels so good. I've also been doing similar things with my eating. So I don't know if I mentioned this, but I haven't eaten chocolate since the beginning of the month. So I'm halfway through the month now. It's May 15th. I stopped eating chocolate at the end of April, and it's not a permanent thing, but I wanted to see how I would feel if I went the whole month with no chocolate. And it's been an interesting experience because chocolate's a vice of mine, and I use it as a way to consume sugar, and I've also used it as a way to feel better, like if I'm in a bad mood or having a tough day or whatever. It's just like it's a vice or an addiction even, because I was at the point where I'd have something with chocolate in it every single day. And I also started to notice like food sensitivity reactions. So I would have various issues in my mouth after eating chocolate or whatever chocolate was mixed with. So that's been really interesting, and that's kept me from eating too much sugar. And I've done the same things with potato chips. So I bring this up also because sometimes after yoga I would be so hungry and unprepared that I would go to the store and just grab potato chips because they were like the simple, convenient comfort food, and it was just like instant calories. And so I would go and like burn 300 calories at yoga, and then I would probably eat 300 calories in potato chips immediately after. And it was just so silly and unnecessary. So now I've just been trying to eat a big meal or a substantial meal at least an hour before I go to class, and then have something really big and filling afterwards ready to go. So I'm trying to do more meal planning and just being super mindful about it all. And it feels great. It makes a huge difference when you're committed to eating well and exercising, which is like the simplest thing. We all know that we should be doing those things if we want to feel a certain way or look a certain way, but it's hard to get into the rhythm of it sometimes. But now that I'm in the rhythm, it feels excellent. A question also came in if I have any travel plans. I actually do this year. I have a bunch. So I'm probably the next trip is Vegas. I'm going for a bachelorette party in July. And then I'm doing in October, I have 2 weddings, one in Mexico, in Cabo, where I've never been, and another is in New Orleans, which I've been once, but only for a few hours. And my friend is from Lafayette, which is close to New Orleans, and it'll be really magical to be there for her wedding and be around people that know the city. So excited about that. I'm also hoping to go do my usual fall trip on the East Coast in September. And if you didn't know, I went to Zion in Utah last month. I think that was last month. And that was amazing. That was also for a wedding, and it was just such a phenomenal experience. Okay, it is 5:30 p.m. Pacific, so I'm going to start to wrap things up, but let me see some comments that came in. Life with Lupus asked, I would like to understand what meditation is. Can you do what you do and how you do it? Can you do a video about that or give a quick glimpse? I have been wanting to do a meditation video for a while, so absolutely. One of these days I will do a dedicated video on meditation. But to tell you now, I'm so glad that you asked, because meditation has also been a huge part of my health journey lately. I started going to a meditation studio at the beginning of this year, and I tried it out actually last year and really was curious about it. So I did like a 3-week pass there because they had a special, and I went almost every single day for 3 weeks and loved it. It's really pricey, and I'm already paying a substantial amount for unlimited yoga classes. So I was like, what do I do? I want to continue doing yoga, but I also really want meditation. So I actually asked if I could volunteer there, and they have a great volunteer program. And now I volunteer and help out with social media. So I help them with their Instagram, and I'm going to be helping with their Facebook. And in exchange for that, I get unlimited membership classes. I have this incredible studio. So it's such a blessing, and it's impacted my life in so many great ways. So before that, I was meditating at home fairly regularly. I still to this day don't meditate every single day, even though I would really like to. It's been hard for me to incorporate that for some reason. I have resistance around that. But when I was just meditating at home, I would sometimes just sit in silence for a few minutes, or see as long as I could go, and just relax my mind and try to let go of any thoughts, not think about anything. Or I would listen to a guided meditation through a podcast or through an app. There's a few apps out there just dedicated to meditation, and there's several podcasts. There's one that I love called The Meditation Podcast, which has lovely recordings. And then I would get them sporadically through various people who offered them for free, or had, like Chris Carr, who I love, has a meditation album. Gabrielle Bernstein, she actually has one you can access on Spotify. So I would just download those and listen to those, and they were great too. But for me, going to meditation classes has been so much more impactful because I'm in a studio with other students and a guided teacher live right there in front of me. So I can ask questions, I can listen to other people's questions, I feel supported, and then there's just an atmosphere that's designed for meditation. So here I might get distracted by Evie, for example, who you can't see, but she's right over there. Or I would want to do work, or I would forget to turn my phone off, or there's just something else that would distract me. Whereas when I go to the meditation studio, I'm in class and that's all I'm doing. I could technically leave, but like, you're not really supposed to leave. You're really just supposed to sit there for 30 to 45 minutes. And sometimes I go to 2-hour classes, or workshops as they call them there. And there's so many different styles. So the great thing that I've discovered through my meditation studio is just trying different types of meditation. So, people always ask, like, which one's going to be best for me? Or people will say, I don't know if I can sit for 30 minutes in silence, but it really depends on the style that you're doing. Some of them involve chanting, like Kundalini style, or a little bit of movement. Sometimes they incorporate a little bit of yoga. Some of them you're listening to great music. Some of them you are sitting in silence. Some of them the teachers are talking and guiding you along. Sometimes you're doing exercises like writing down things based on prompts that the teachers have. Sometimes you're standing up and doing various, like, we did like an affirmation class, for example, where you stood up and like had a certain posture to help you infuse the energy that was coming through the class. Sometimes you're lying down and you might even fall asleep in class because it's so relaxing. There's just so many different types, and that to me is why I would encourage people to try a meditation studio if there is one near you, just to experience it. There is a Buddhist center down the street from me that I'm curious about. So I haven't done like traditional Buddhist meditation yet. I've only done kind of maybe like the more modern version of it. I've done Kundalini. And I've done, my favorite classes right now are called breathwork classes. And I've had transformational experiences from that. So I would highly recommend that you look up my favorite teacher. I'm going to write his name down. To put in the description here. He actually has meditations that you can download through iTunes, so you can actually take his classes anywhere, and he will be doing virtual sessions too, which I think I've talked about in the past. And let me see, one last comment here. Where'd you go? Gen Z just wanted to say that the honest guys are good too. I'll write that down. Honest guys. And let me see, meditation podcast. These will all go into the description. And then last question I will answer before ending this live video is what happened to Bernie the bunny. I will update you guys on that when I finish my vlogs from last fall. But the short answer is that as far as I know, he is back at the farm that he originally came from, which was like a bit of a bummer. But it was like a good opportunity for me to surrender and trust the universe. If you saw the vlogs, I found this rabbit on the side of the road while visiting my family. My mom and I picked him up because we didn't want him to get hit by a car or taken by a coyote or something. And we brought him back to my parents' farm and we kept him there, and then we were trying to find where he came from. And we eventually found out he came from this farm, which is like they were having animals around for therapy reasons. And they seemed so nonchalant about the bunny and not fully equipped to keep him that my mom and I took him back to our farm, but we didn't intend on keeping him. We were either going to return him to the farm or find a new home for him. And the farm just did not seem to care very much about this rabbit, and they didn't contact us for weeks, so we just thought we were going to find him a new home or maybe even keep him. And so I tried to find him a new home through friends of mine before I left Massachusetts, and that just didn't happen, so my parents were trying to figure out what to do about him. And then after I left Massachusetts, my mom told me that the farm called and were actually trying to accuse us of like stealing the rabbit from them. It was like a very weird situation, but we had to remind them that that was not the case, that they gave us permission to take the rabbit back, and long story short, they actually came and took the rabbit back to the farm. And the reason that I wasn't so thrilled about that is because I didn't feel like they were doing the best to take care of him. And I'm pretty sure that I heard after that that other people in the neighborhood saw the rabbit out and about running around near the road again. So I hope that Bernie is still alive. They actually found out his name was something else. His Stormtrooper was his name. So his name is actually not Bernie, which is what I called him, but his name was Stormtrooper based on the farm. So yeah, I know sometimes you can't control those things, right? Like I'll end this by saying it reminds me of Jason, one of my good friends. He lives in this area of Los Angeles, and he's noticed that the people in his neighborhood are very nonchalant about their animals, and it's very common for him just to see dogs running around with no owner nearby, and then you'll find out later the dog belongs to some house and they just let the dog out in the street to do whatever it wants. Do the same things with their cats, and some people just have a very nonchalant way of taking care of their animals, and we can't, as animal lovers, we want to protect them, we want to give them good homes, but we also have to realize that we don't have control over every animal in this life, and the best thing we can do is to encourage other people to take good care of their animals, but sometimes it's not in our hands. So in the Bernie situation, I really would have loved to have given him a better home, but that wasn't my decision to make in the end. So that's the Bernie update. Let me just see, a few more comments came in. I hope that he's happy there too, and yeah, at least he got to bring joy to my life and some of your lives, those of you who saw the videos of him, and I'm grateful for that. All right, it's been 38 minutes, it's 5:40, I gotta leave here in 15 minutes to go to yoga, so I'm gonna finish my soup. I will be doing these live videos. I'm planning to do them every Monday at 5 p.m. So tune in for the next one, and then I may just do another one randomly another time this week. So thank you so much for everyone that was here live. Thanks for all of you who watched the recording. Thanks in general for being part of the Eco Vegan Gal Uncensored community. You really mean a lot to me. And I will link to as many things as I can remember to link to in the description of this video once it's live on the channel. Tony and Ninia, thank you so much for being here the entire time. It means the world, just your presence and your comments. And Gen Z, you too. Really, you guys were here for 40 minutes hanging out. That's amazing. That blows my mind. Okay, until next time, everyone. Take care. Bye.